All right, folks, welcome on back here this Friday, May 27th, pre-Memorial Day weekend. And to close out our week, of course, with that in mind, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Great to see Chris, who just clocked in with about 95 cents just now on the AMC trade. Great to see Chris. Great to see Norman, who got 19 on Farfetch there on the short. Great to see all of us perhaps rejoining us live inside our cyber group room. And perhaps the few of us on social media today, Facebook Live and YouTube, obviously pre-holiday weekend, lighter crowd here right now. But for those of us that are here, for those of us that have been here in the live trading room, these are the opportunities that we train for. These are the opportunities that we spend hours and hours watching class for. These are the opportunities that we really take the time to study for, maybe in extracurricular hours, off hours in the market. Because it's not just the fact that the market moved up today. I mean, hey, I could say the same exact thing on a down day. But man, it was just one stock after another today, really. It wasn't even as much the market open for myself specifically. A lot of our students killed it the first hour of the day. I did all right. I didn't go a few hundred, but nonetheless, like it was just after class. It was just one after another. SIGA on the way up. And guess what? SIGA is shortable. So if you know your levels, then that is actually tradable in both directions. And then same to be said for AMC perhaps. And AMC right now is actually just running right back on up right now. Great to see Eric inside our live trading room here, just joining us right now, perhaps for the first time. So, it's even any of our new trial members joining us here. This is the perfect day to join, perhaps. And, we didn't necessarily plan that, right? But, here going into the end of the week, end of the month, what a day so far we've had, right? With that in mind, for a lot of us here joining us in class coming up this afternoon, I look forward to this class. We're going to be talking more about studying and planning ahead. Really just it's more of like an advanced journaling type of class that we have from phase one. We're going to, kick it up a notch as far as how you could best be studying the market and trades specifically. So, I look forward to it. It's basically a continuation of where we left off from this morning. But with that in mind, though, let's hop right to it. And actually, I'll make things simple. I know a few of us are coming back right now to the live trading room, a few of us joining us right now. If you were with us over the last hour, just if you were with us in the chat consistently, even on the sidelines, kind of just, reading it over the last hour, what stocks are moving right now? We have the SIGA, which I just mentioned. We have the AMC trade, which I also just mentioned. But what else? There's definitely more than that. And I'm going to just ask you folks right out the gate, what stocks are moving right now? Because we're going to put those on our watch list just right away to begin. So SIGA, and we'll show all of these in a bit. SIGA, obviously Robinhood on the screen right now. Chris calling it out as he first rejoined the trading room just before. So, I know he's watching this and has been for a little bit. This is at the highs right now. So it's hard to not put this on our watch list here, Robinhood. Michael, Allison, Robert right now saying the AVDL trade still popping. Well, that's the top percent gainer. We would have gotten to this just, on the top, but yeah, you folks are right. I mean, obviously making a pop right now, but ended up making a big move from earlier today. Ended up making essentially the slingshot from like 150, 160 area. And then from there ran up beautifully a buck. It also is a gap fill. So looking at the daily chart here, there's a big gap where this stock ended up, showing no activity. I'm sure like after hours, pre-market activity. So, that's something that we do take the time in the phase two course in other classes to go over with. But, right now, this is definitely filling the gap and perhaps, looking to fill more of it here heading into the afternoon. So, great call. Yeah, definitely not just, for the morning, but just right now, popping right back on up here. All right, so we have AVDL. We have the AMC trade, which we already kind of talked about. We didn't show the chart yet, but we'll go through that in just a bit. And then we have a couple of us also mentioning the SWTX trade. Ooh, interesting. That one's actually on the loser side, down over 38% right now, maybe less. Yeah, this one's actually pushing back on up right now, trading about 15,000 shares a minute, which is actually pretty decent right now. That's actually excluding this spike here, which is good. So, it's trading decent volume per minute. It's got like a really thin order book, so I'm not like too particular about that part. But it was a stock from earlier today, made the dead cat bounce, ended up dropping off at first at least, but then ended up really beginning to spike from like 14, sub 14 there, and then really took off up towards 20. So, trying to make a second win type of move here, perhaps, making the same type of gap fill as we just, saw on the AVDL trade. So, you know what? I don't mind it right now. SWTX, it's got a thin book, but, I'll put this on our list for right now. This is like probably towards the bottom so far, but it makes the cut. Now let's go right from top to bottom otherwise here, and I will just jump right back to AVDL. Just, it's on our list already, but just wanted to take a look on level 3. We have an iceberg order here at 250 for about 72,000. After that, 260, smaller one for about 47. We definitely saw some good interest coming in over 250 earlier today off the initial break, but it was already running up parabolically, pretty much from that time. So, normally that's where you expect to see the end of a run or the beginnings of the end. And, nonetheless, it pulled back. And, for right now, it's been teasing this break since. So, just giving it an extra couple of pushes here. But, perhaps we see this finally re-break over 250. So the AVDL, it's on our list already, but just wanted to go over that. The ONCT trade, how's this doing? Wow, this one's pushing right back on up too. So, no one wrote this in the chat board just when I posed that question, but I do recall now we were following this. I know not myself per se, but Rich was calling this out inside the live trading room, and a few of us were in and out of this for about 10, 12 cents, but pushing up really nicely here. So easily enough, this goes near the top of our list for right now, the ONCT. This stock has been a pop and drop type of stock in the past, though, so just be careful of a really big shake. You could just see back from beginning of last year, we ended up trading the stock, ran for us back then. That could have been actually pre-reverse stock split. I'm not sure on that part, but for right now, ONCT pushing up on the intraday here really nicely. You do have resistance off of 150. A couple of orders here right off of 150, 149. All right, and that leads me to the SIGA trade, which we spoke about. It was one of the ones that we had made mention of. Ended up running up beautifully here today. Let me just expand the daily chart for right now, though, to go back on the daily because, hey, we started the week off on SIGA. We ended the last week, actually, on the SIGA trade. So, we've been really following this one pretty frequently, but it's more than just saying that. Actually, how about this? I'll tease this right now. Anything else that I want to make mention of on this stock, I'm going to talk about in class. If you want to join me in class later on today, I will finish my thought actually on the stock because it all revolves around planning ahead and studying the market and, just during off hours, just studying your trades, studying strategies, back testing strategies, and, actually something on this trade that allowed me to short this stock so confidently. I took a small loss on it at first, after it ran up so much, but then I caught it right at the sweet spot. So, because of that, it led to a great short, but pushing back up here, it's kind of coiling up, so it remains very tradable across the afternoon here. But if you want to hear my thoughts on this trade, at least as to why I was so confident as to where I wanted to identify the top, I was kind of sarcastically saying inside the live trading room earlier, I was like, the stock hasn't had a big shake yet so far today. I wonder, Allison was cracking up there at first, but, led to the drop, right? Took a couple minutes, but led to the drop, and we'll talk about this more or less in class. All right, so SIGA, for those of us not joining me in class, well, this still remains tradable. We'll put this on the watch list for you. The ALLR trade is not really doing a whole lot right now, so let's skip over this. TNON, TNON, I don't know. You tell me if it's going to make a pop. I'm just going to skip over it for right now. It doesn't seem to be trading a lot of volume, but that leads me to Farfetched, FTCH. Norman picked up some money on the short. The stock also is shortable like SIGA was. Pushed up pretty nicely across most of the day. So, hey, if Norman's going to join us in class, then maybe you could tell us why he was jumping in on the short, at least, for FTCH. He made 19 cents on it. So, similar question there. But, for right now, hey, it's still holding pretty strong near the highs. I don't mind putting this on our list here for the afternoon, FTCH. Now, yank my own leash here a bit because we already have a decently big watch list right now. We haven't even made a dent on the gainer side just so far. So, I got to be pretty limited here, pretty selective, just to see if there's anything really making a good push. I don't like to push out too big of a watch list here. So Michael had called out RRBG, right? So we were going to get to this. It was on the gainer side here. It's still pushing up right now. The issue on this trade, although for right now, it's hard to not put it on our list. Red Robin Gourmet Burgers. I'm assuming that's just Red Robin. I didn't know it was like gourmet burgers attached at the end there. So I'm assuming it's like fast food Red Robin, right? Hey, nice push here. I don't know what the news is, but the issue I have on this trade is just that it's too thin. So, I'm not like even that particular about it, but I'll write it down. I'll come back to this even at the end. I want to see if there's anything looking even better, more liquid at least. I don't know as much better than this in terms of a chart, but I didn't mean to click on the Grom here. Actually, it was a cheapie, but it's one that we're familiar with. Same with IMPPs, so we'll skip over those for right now. Novavax ended up making a huge push earlier today, right? And this one's still holding strong near the highs, right? So, this one's also got a thin book, kind of like the RRBG trade, but it is trading more volume per minute. So that's the part where I'd say it's more liquid right now. But again, I'll kind of even just keep this on the side here, see if there's anything kind of even looking a bit better. Maybe open door here, ended up making a nice push from the market open 660 up towards 730-ish, and then made the higher high later on. And this one, thankfully, is a lot more liquid, right within our price range. So it's a little bit slower, I know, but I'll at least kind of consider this at least over the others, for right now. We've Express EXPR. This one's a little too slow. A little too slow here, this Express trade. If we're following those Reddit stocks between AMC and GameStop, maybe, which GameStop is just pretty expensive and illiquid. This one's like, great in terms of liquidity, but too slow. I'd rather just follow AMC, right? All right, so that leads me to AMC. This thing has been a gold mine today. I mean, you could say that on a bunch of different trades, but nonetheless, AMC ended up making a beautiful move from earlier off of resistance at 1330. That's where I ended up jumping it off of it. I ended up closing out a position earlier and re-entered off of 1367, and that's where I stand now. So, this thing's just been a gold mine today, mostly on the way up. With that, though, I know, Chris ended up clocking out for 95 cents earlier. Is there anyone in on this AMC trade right now as we're talking? That doesn't mean for you to chase it and just jump right in, folks. I always like to say that. I feel like most of us know that, but Deborah says yes. All right, very nice. So I don't want to distract anyone. I just wanted to kind of ask, out of curiosity, see if anyone's in. Right, so let's focus on where the big money is. Right now, I don't really have a key level ahead up until likely 1450. So, we'll definitely follow this here heading into the afternoon and likely in class. Jeffrey says he's in as well. Very nice. Cool. So hopefully from a nice low price, right around 1330. If not from there, maybe like 14-ish or, again, I'm in from 1367 for right now. But yeah, right now, AMC definitely making a good push. So we'll put this on our watch list. It's already on there. Right, Michael says he got stopped out, hopefully with a nice profit, waiting for a new entry. Yeah, it's shaking around a little bit here, so I'm not too particular about that, but it's holding so strong near the high. So from where I'm in from right now, I'm going to hang on here, but my stop is set, as you can clearly see. So we'll keep it moving. See what else we got. I'm just going to kind of flip this here just to see if there's anything else from bottom to top. I feel like that's an easier way for me to kind of just finish up. So you got the HUSA trade. This one was like an oil energy stock, I think. Ended up making a huge run for us a couple of months back and good push heading into the early afternoon. But right now, not really doing too much. BYFC, this one has been a familiar name, at least in the past. Nice little push from earlier today, but kind of like low volume right now. So, trading 1.1 million shares on the day, but it's trading about like 2,000 shares a minute. So, not really a fan of that. Let's see. I thought I saw BNGO here. Bingo. It's like too slow. Holding strong, but all right. We got INO here. Novio Pharmaceuticals. Hey, this one's pushing back on up towards 2. We had called this out earlier today. It was like, showing a little activity in pre-market, but, it's a little slow, right? Don't get me wrong. This thing's pretty slow here, but it's making a nice steady push. It's at a major resistance off of 2 with about 75 minutes to go. The closer we get to that 3:30 time frame, hopefully this becomes a faster trade for us to follow. I don't mind it here. I'll put it towards the bottom of our list here. INO. All right, folks, I think that just about wraps up the gainer side. I might have Upstart here, which I know has been strong today. Made a nice pop earlier before, but yeah, it's just kind of flat for right now, trading tighter range. All right, so that takes me over to the losers list with the market pushing up as much as it has been and hopefully could here heading into the market close. We're not expecting to find a whole lot on the loser side. IOVA was a great trade from earlier this morning, great short. That was collapsing going into the market open. So it was hard to try and catch a pullback on this trade. I had the stock prepped up and charted, lined up, ready to go. I really wanted to dig my heels into a short here, but I was never able to. So quickly enough, I was able to kind of focus back on my trades, the AMC, the SIGA, NEO. But right now this thing's pretty flat, so I wouldn't bother with it here for the close. But good trade from the morning, and maybe one to follow next week on Tuesday. All right, ACB, another one. I guess a great short from earlier today, got crushed going into the market open, so we weren't really expecting that as much. But once it dropped, we were calling it out, and a small little bounce, but not really a whole lot more to it than that. I don't know if pot stocks took a huge hit collectively here because ACB's down, CGC's down, MJ pot stock ETF is down over 3%. So market's performing really well today, but I don't know what's happening with these pot stocks here. But CGC's down big. I'm sure we'll find a couple others, but can't really short them. That's the issue. BIG is down over 11%. Made a high off of 28 change earlier, and I guess you could have had that as a short from before, but that's really it. Not really a whole lot going on with this big lots trade right now. All right, so folks, that takes me to you. If there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5% for all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, let me know. For all of us like Leda and Ben and Robert, let me know. Robert picking up a little money on the AVDL trade. Have I discussed the SIGA trade already? Yeah, we did. We talked about that one before. Ended up, we have it on our list. It's tradable because it's shortable. Well, check to see if it's shortable on your platform. Thankfully for myself, it's shortable, so I don't have to worry about as much, with that. But if this fails to break the higher high, or if this ends up smashing under support, then this would be a good short. Otherwise, if it holds pretty strongly here, then maybe there could be one more run left to this big move from earlier. So that for that reason, we'll put this on our list. All right. Really quick, for a couple of us here in particular, I had private chatted a few of us earlier today with a specific question. Students that are logged into the trading room. If you didn't get the private chat, no worries. But it was just about like 4 or 5 of us. One of us wrote me back, and hey, if you saw a chat from me earlier today, at least with a bit of a question, if you could take a little time to write back to me on that, it would be greatly appreciated. It would be really helpful towards this afternoon's class. From Bill, little update on the pot stocks. I don't know if that was a headline that he copied and pasted. If so, I appreciate it. He says lack of safe banking act and still illegal federally. Yeah, but that's it's still illegal federally. But there's got to be a reason why ACB is down 37%. There's got to be a reason why CGC is down 12.5+%. I'm sure it's earnings related, but aside from that, I didn't know if there's any other specific news out there. It says high food bills cutting into the pot budget. Could be. All right, folks, let me know though. Anything else? Last call, up, down, left, right, more than 5%. SIGA we caught. Oh, from Leda. I'm sorry, APYX. I thought that was reading AVDL. My trader's dyslexia. I read out my contact description. Sweet too. APYX making a nice push, breaking above yesterday's high even. So, wow, this one kind of flew under the radar going into the afternoon meeting here. So, yeah, great call, definitely. So that's a quick one right now for me to say. So, you know what? Let me go back to the couple that I was a little iffy on. It was like the RRGB trade. Don't have a need to start off on this just yet, folks. I feel like there's a lot better on the watch list already. And then the open trade, it's just slow. Just slow. I feel like there's a lot of stocks that look like this right now. Don't get me wrong; it's had a great day, and it is shortable. So, I mean, hey, if there's a chance to try and short this, then that could be the opportunity. But otherwise, again, we'll kind of start off on the others to begin. I don't like to put out too big of a watch list because it, could get overwhelmed. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle of all of these different trades. All right, first and foremost, folks, for all of our members here inside our live trading room, anyone watching this live or on the recording perhaps that have actively or that are actively or have served, in the armed forces, our military, I appreciate you more than anything. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you more than anything. It's incredible to be a part of this country for more than just one reason. Obviously, most above anything, the fact that we have a lot of freedom. So with that, if it wasn't for anyone, out there that has graciously, bravely defended our country, we wouldn't have that, I think. All right. So, aside from that, for all of us to get, all of us like your happy Memorial Day weekend, keep in mind markets are closed on Monday, so we will be too, but we will resume the action at least on Tuesday. That will be, the 31st. Now, for all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube here, if you have any other questions, feel more than free to send it on over to my email address. I always like to post my email here at the end of these streams, josh@c2trading.com. There we go. If you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, well, you'd begin on Tuesday. You could give a call to our office to, just check to see when you'd like to begin yourself. You can, set your trial to begin at any date. But if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below right there on the stream to get yourself started. For all of us inside the live trading room, I know that I'll be seeing most of us in class at least. But for those of us not joining me in class, best of luck trading here going into the market close.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.